guys for coming out, and we're going to keep it moving, and of course we have the poetress that's in the building, Too Deep. She's coming up to the stage, newbie to the poetry scene, 4 months in, and you ready, girl? She got her camera ready. She's doing it. She's doing it good. All right, did I gotta say all that? Poetry is based on questions and experience. 1 rhyme plus 1 blessed child equals Too Deep. All right, give it up, y'all. Too Deep.
My next piece is based on an experience, and I like to preface, no, I'm not a racist. It was an experience, and these are my thoughts on the experience. So it's called I'm Hungry. I was hungry, but I'm not anymore. I mean, I'm hungry, but not for what I'm standing in this line for. I mean, I'm hungry because I'm about to eat this white lady's behind up. I mean, where her behind would be if God had spent a little bit more time on her people instead of mine, but I digress. Now, I never thought that a person of Caucasian descent would step forth to me and be so brazen and dumb. I almost requested that she borrow my white jacket, throw it over her head, poke eye holes, just so I could feel a little more comfortable. You know, make her ignorance a little bit more recognizable. Because her remarks made my ovaries shrivel and made my vagina scream. Why, you ask? Because I would never want to bring a child into this world that housed such negativity. So much negativity that I became an instant racist towards this one white lady standing in the line at the Taco Bell counter. Now, I know she saw me standing there first, and I guess my professional pantsuit ensemble made me appear less threatening and probably fitting a profile she would better prefer, like the black woman who probably worked at the mall and was on her lunch break. When in fact, I work for the government, and I had taken the remainder of the day off with pay because my BFA and MFA had qualified me as educated enough to have a job with such benefits. And I was more than qualified to see through her degree of BS. Now, she started the conversation with me about the weather, and what a pleasant day it was. So pleasant that she allowed me to place my order first. And then I stepped to the side while she placed her order. Nothing out of the ordinary. Until this ignorant wasp descendant walks over to the pickup counter and proceeds to tell me that, and I quote, pretty soon we're going to have to get our own country because they're just taking over. And somewhere between my impulses to bitch, slap, and educate, I said, could you repeat yourself? And as if my name were Simon and this were a game she did. Now, as a black woman, I've had more than enough of my share of I wish a trick would type moments. And in fact, my wish had finally come true because now I was stuck between rational and what a nigga would do because she continued to say that she couldn't understand them and we needed to do something about these people. And she could understand me, so I wasn't so hard for them to learn English. And I took a deep breath and was about to bite my tongue, and then I realized that Garvey preached about this moment. Malcolm, in fact, died for this moment, and MLK was about to be proud of me. So I took 2 steps back with my hands behind my back just so I wouldn't knock her out on accident. Tilted my head and proceeded to tell her that exactly. That must have been the exact sentiments of the Native Americans when your ancestors arrived, and yet all they had to show for it is a little plot of land and the question of how. How is it that you can claim a land that you don't even own, then put a border around a land that claims to be free, blocking out the very people that generate the American dream? Because those of us who live here and who have helped build this country are trapped inside of it, waiting for the day when we can wake up. And I am highly insulted as a child whose great-great-grandmother was a Native American. My mother is of African descent, and my father is of Latino heritage. So you see, these are my people. And just in case you failed to realize, your dumb behind walked up to Taco Bell. And in PG County, there's a slight chance that you might be served by Hispanics. Así que nos haría usted todo un favor y lo cuelga, porque su ignorancia cosa que me afloje mi apetito. Y es una lástima que no pueden entender lo que digo en este momento, pero this may be the language that you may have to learn in a few years. But the next time that you want to walk up to a person of minority descent, please order yourself a piece of humble pie with a side of common sense. Otherwise, you may be served with the taste of whoop-ass, which will be served with the best of common customer service at any black venue. Now, I may not be hungry for these 3 tacos and a Sierra Mist, but I will never stop being hungry enough to break off a piece of your hind part, drive you to the border, and give you a history lesson, and remind you that, in fact, you will leave this counter with a better appreciation for those who are unlike you. Así que, solo la boca la caminante lejos y piensa antes que habla en el futuro. ¿Comprende? Now, if you'll excuse me, your ignorance has inspired me to go get some jerk chicken. Schools taught by people who look like me, cleaned by people who talk like me, crowded by people who walk like me, forced to learn about people who ain't nothing like me. Stories in the history books becoming more like me, a minority, minor at best. Like the captain of the slave ship overthrown by Sinke, laid to rest. I want to know more about where I come from because my mama don't know. I would ask my daddy, but then again, my mama don't know. So I thought I'd ask my granddaddy, but now my grandmama don't know. So I came to the conclusion that I was the walking definition of a test tube baby because God is testing us while we squeeze ourselves into these tubes, into these socially experimental tubes, wondering whether meniscus forever been below minor, wondering whether Bunsen burners ever reach Fahrenheit degrees high enough to light our ignorant behinds on fire. Because where there is darkness, there is light. And where there is white, I guarantee you the opposite is right. Because I recall that first there was darkness, and then God said, let there be light. Not that there was anything wrong with the black side of things, but you must have an opposite to truly appreciate the first. And now we're starving ourselves from our motherland's inheritance, flailing around in spiritual waters to quench our mental thirst, and yet we still deny the origin of our heritage's birth. But I want to know why the Chinese still speak Chinese, and why the Latinos speak in the tongues of their ancestors, and why the Italian got the mafia to build a wall around their heritage. But in order for me to graduate from an American school, I must learn every foreign language except for the ones I would need to speak to my own ancestral kind. I want to know why I can't say Eshe to you and have you understand what it means, or why Oluwa makes you tilt your head and raise your eyebrow at me. I want to know why Igbo and Yoruba mean nothing to you and more to me. I want to know why French is heard, yet English is the national language of Sierra Leone. I want to know why your name don't sound nothing like Kunta Kinte's, or why I can't express Sorokuko Mine Ebu Oluwa, which means my name is Ebu Oluwa, and in Yoruba means gift from God. I want to know why Black History Month is the only month I get to learn about me, and it's stuff that I don't know, but should know. I want to know why your mama and my mama ain't fighting for a change. I want to know why everybody says they want to help, but ain't nobody doing a damn thing. I want to know how am I to figure out who I am if no one else knows what to look for either. I want to know when the day will come when my lessons will speak of my ancestors' blood and the day when all was good. I want to know why you still sitting here listening to a poem that ain't going to do nothing but put an idea in your head. Moro wipe asisewa, aleye kose onana mo fese denye. Don't even waste your time trying to discover what I just said. That frustration alone should get you to move. Take it as an insult, as if I just said that you were not black. Melanin in your skin? Maybe. African? Never. Not until you can claim a set and speak a set like the set of people that were crippled over time and came together because of blood. The original Bloods and Crips. I want to see the day when you stop believing that you're better than me. I want to see the day when we realize that Black vernacular English, or Ebonics, was among the many languages that our ancestors spoke when they first arrived. And just because you speak the White King's English don't make you heir to his throne. So why don't you broken English your black behind home and come and discover who you are and fight for the cause. Because I want to see the day when we make a change because we actually gave a damn, and our efforts makes its way into the pages of my children's history books, because I want to earn my black. I want to earn it back. I want to know what it feels like to stand in the middle of an African desert with my hands towards the sun, declaring to God, I am proud to be black. And what do you know about that? Because to be black means to be one. To be black means to demand unity and the power of one. To be black means to fight for change and call on the powers that be until that change occurs. To follow up with action after hours of marching in the sun. To finally see the product of our anthem, we shall overcome. So follow me if you want to register for Blackness 101.